Hi, my name is Mark Olives, and today I'd like to talk about beta blockers and exercise. If you have high blood pressure, there's a good chance that you might be on a beta blocker. And the way a beta blocker works is it's going to depress your resting heart rate. That way the heart doesn't have to work quite as hard. The problem with this is with exercise, it's also going to depress your heart rate. Now the significance of that is if you're trying to improve the health of your heart, you need to exercise with certain parameters. So the parameters are you need to exercise 20 minutes of continuous exercise, 3 or more days a week, with your heart rate elevated in your target heart rate zone. Quickly, and hopefully this doesn't throw you, but in order to calculate your target heart rate, what you need to do is you need to take the number 220, subtract your age, then subtract your resting heart rate. Then take that number and multiply it by 0.60 and also multiply it by 0.80. Then take those two numbers and add back in your resting heart rate. That will give you two different numbers that will essentially define where your target heart rate should be when you exercise. If that throws you, hopefully it doesn't, but you can look that type of thing up on the internet. So once you've got your target heart rate, that's where you'd like to stay while you exercise. The problem is if you're on a beta blocker, your heart rate will be depressed. It will not want to elevate. And even though you've utilized your resting heart rate, which is depressed from the beta blockers, you might still have difficulty reaching that target. I frequently have people that are half killing themselves trying to exercise, and I run over and I'm like, whoa, don't exercise that hard. And they say, well, my heart rate, it's not up high enough. I say, no. There's two different ways to define your heart rate. One would be definitely by the strict parameter of what is your target heart rate, stay in that zone. But when you're on beta blockers, a lot of times a better way to define this is exercise at an intensity of a 6 or a 7 out of 10 on an exertion scale. With a 10 on the exertion scale being you're exercising so hard you swear to God your heart's going to blow out of your chest and you're going to drop dead any second. If you would define your exercise intensity as a 6 or a 7 out of 10, then you're right where you need to be. The research shows you will have an equivalent heart rate to what your target heart rate would need to be in order to achieve a cardiovascular benefit. So remember, if you're on a beta blocker, and also I should have said this, but a beta blocker are those medications that end in OLOL. If your medication says OLOL at the very end, that's a beta blocker. Your heart rate's probably depressed. Consequently, pay attention to your exercise heart rate, keeping in mind what we just talked about. So I hope that this helps provide you some parameters to help you exercise in a safe, efficient manner. Thanks.